Thanks for asking that. It's very common that patients come into primary care with symptoms of depression. And sometimes it's relatively mild, and I'll have Jordan come and meet with the patient in the room. It's what we call a warm handoff. He may be able to address their concerns right in that visit, or may be able to see them back for 1 to 3 visits. Commonly, he will then refer the patient on for ongoing care, and that can be regular depression, anxiety, or there are some cases where they're very severe, even suicidal, and Jordan can help in that moment, as well as referring them for additional resources.
Wow, that sounds like a great resource for physicians and our patients.
I agree.
So Dr. Meehan, being one of our providers that is now a mentor for APPs that are new to the Polyclinic, I wondered if you could just give us a little information on what your experience has been mentoring one of our APPs, Joni Gormley.
Sure. So I've been at the Polyclinic for almost 30 years, and this APP, nurse practitioners and physician assistants are new for me. We've been using them a lot in our specialty departments, and I really do like that because it gives us a lot more availability to see people the same day or more urgently. It's newer that we've used them in our primary care department, and I've actually been pleasantly surprised. I was never really, I thought, you're a primary care doctor, you do it all yourself, and that worked for some time, but I really find them very helpful. It increases my availability when my patients get sick. There's someone here, if I'm booked solid, who can take care of them. They've been very helpful for a lot of the busy work that was driving me crazy, specifically when another doctor's out of the office, I have to go into their inbox, and this could take hours, and now that we have APPs doing this, it's really freed me up, and I don't dread those days. I'm able to care for my patients better because they pick up the slack. I've worked with Joni specifically. She's very competent. She's as experienced as I am. She's been in this business a long time, and so yeah, it's really been a positive experience, and I'm glad we did it.
Thank you very much.
Can you describe your involvement with the start of the Scribe Optimization program?
Sure. I've had my Scribe for a little more than a year, and we have a pretty good flow, but there were definitely things that we could do better. And so we had somebody from Scribe America come, who's an expert, and watched both me and my scribe working together, saw what we were each doing with the patients and without the patients, and really nailed down and looked and gave us advice on how we could improve our working together and improve our functionality so we could get more out of the program. And it was really, really useful for me. For instance, one of the biggest ways scribes can help us is by writing out patient instructions. And I was unfortunately spending way too much time myself in the instructions, and that would keep my scribe from being able to go in there and write things out. And so that really, she said, stay out of this patient instructions. Don't go in there unless you have special permission, because that's where my scribe's going to be putting the instructions in. It's been really helpful. It's one of the best things. The patients are thrilled with the good instructions they get at the end. And so that was a really, really helpful way. That was a good example of how the Scribe Optimization program can help.
Okay.
So Christina, as manager of the IM group at Madison, you've been going through our PDSA of team-based care, and we've been starting with our management system. I know you've made some changes to how you're doing your improvement huddles, and I wondered if you could share with us some of those changes.
Yes, I'd be very happy to. Doing the PDSA process, it's been a great opportunity to really circle back and identify what things were working well and what wasn't working well. And so we have more recently implemented utilizing a Kaizen everyday improvement form, and they're found here for our staff to pick up and fill out whenever there is an idea throughout the week, and they would place that here, and that's worked better than coming to the improvement huddle board and asking at that point in time if there are any new ideas generated to work on. And then from this section here, our team is now utilizing the pick chart, which is a tool that's intended to help identify how much effort and how much of an impact working on a certain improvement project would take. And so the team is more involved in what we're going to be working on for the next project. And then we have our work in progress section, which hasn't changed, but what we have been working on is really focusing on some improvement projects that are a little bit longer term that focus more on some of our strategic objectives, and those have to do primarily with quality measures. And so being able to not just do things that are local improvements, but things that are aligned with the objectives. With that, we are doing PDSA, which of the improvement topic, and with that, we are able to see what's working and what's not, and we're able to track and share with all of our team members, not just what's worked well, but some of our improvement ideas that actually haven't worked well, and that would save hopefully other teams from going down that same path. The other new section on our board is our celebration section, and this is an opportunity for us to really call out with our team things that are working well. As you can see in this, particularly for this week, we've been working on our referral work queue with only having a few in there, and our phone stats are above 80% for the past few weeks. So really congratulating the team when things are working well as well.
That's wonderful. So you're identifying, you're prioritizing, you've got your project and your PDSA, and then celebrating at the end. I love it.
Exactly.
Great. Thank you.